Hello everyone and welcome to ixamBee. Today I, Jayanti Mishra, is going to talk about SEBI IT Phase 2 pattern change. This is a trick or a treat for the aspirants. So many of the students out there are thinking that the exam is getting easier. Many of you might be thinking exam is getting tougher. But what is the actual thing which is happening for you guys? Because there is a lot of new things coming in phase 2. A drastical change has been introduced, and whenever there is a change which is introduced, either it is benefited for all or it just give hard time to everyone. So either it will be very good or it will be very bad, and that we are going to discuss in which direction more probably SEBI IT phase 2 is going this year, that is 2025. So let's understand a bit of history with the old pattern. So in the old pattern, which was only with the coding questions, you had a bit of comfort zone. Everyone had a comfort zone. Why I say that there was a comfort zone with the old pattern? Because the pattern was known. You knew that you will have 3 hours, 30 minutes extra for reading the questions. You will have your exam with 9 questions. Out of that, you have to attempt 6 questions. You will have test cases against which your code will be tested, right? And there and then only you get to see, okay, my test case is passing the test cases as well, right? So this sort of thing gives a lot of transparency to the student when they are preparing. So you better know the pattern and platform when it comes to the old pattern. But that is not the case with the new pattern. We'll talk about the new pattern once we discuss everything with the old pattern. So with the comfort zone, you knew the pattern and the platform, you knew the level of the exam, because there they clearly stated that 30% will be simple level questions, 30%, 40% will be like medium level questions, and rest will be hard question. So you clearly knew that how the exam is going to be constructed for you, how much it will be difficult. So it was having the spectrum from small to large, that is from the simple to the hardest level, that you knew. But now we have no idea, we are clueless. Also with the old pattern, you had the autonomy to choose a language for each and every question to write the code. So here the control lies to you. Control is with you. You get to decide which language you want to choose and study for phase 2, because you were the owner of your language. Language autonomy lies with the aspirants, which leads to more confidence. So if I am a good coder in C++ or Python or in Java, I do not worry about the language. I will only worry about the type of questions I can solve. So my focus will be solving problems rather than learning the language from the scratch. All the three. No, I don't need that. I need only one language to master. Right? Now, they have changed the pattern. They have flipped their side. Now the new pattern is only with the multiple choice question. Now we have to tackle the missing links. Whatever there is in the notification, that is being given to all of you. But what is missing? That will actually decide whether this exam is going to be a trick or treat. Now, the missing links. How many questions will be in exam? Can anyone tell me how many questions? No. They haven't told us how many questions. They have just told us 100 marks. But for 100 marks, how many questions? They haven't told us the level of the exam. Will they still be going with the some sort of simple, some sort of moderate, some sort of hard level questions? What they are going to do with the level of the exam? Is it be entirely easy or moderate or difficult or mix of it? They have not said anything like that, right? They do same thing for the phase 1. They don't mention what will be the level of the exam. So for phase 2 also, we don't know what will be the level of the exam. Now, what type of questions will be asked in the exam? They only told us multiple choice question. The multiple choice questions, how they will be framed. Like there will be 2 marker questions, there will be 10 marker question, there will be 1 marker question. What type of questions you are going to ask? That is also some sort of ambiguity. You have an ambiguity there because they don't provide you sample questions. no clear instruction on the languages that are going to be asked in the exam. So you don't know whether now for phase 2 you have to learn only one language or all the three languages. This is the biggest drawback as of now if we don't receive any information from SEBI in the coming days. So we cannot wait that okay, you are going to give us some good news that the questions might be asked in all the three languages and you get to choose the language, which is not going to be the case mostly. Now, if that is going to be the case, still we are saved. But if that is not the case, then it is going to be a mess, because now you need to learn all the languages for data structure, programming concept, OOPS and string manipulation, and the exam is still for 3 hours. What sort of MCQs are we expecting in 3 hours? That is also something which is very typical. So definitely the exam level is not reduced, because earlier also you had 30 minutes extra plus 3 hours to attempt the paper, and here also you have 3 hours to attempt the paper. So moreover, they are experimenting this year. What I feel is the problem with the Parikshak, because Parikshak was a headache to them and to the aspirant every year. Every year the Parikshak platform was not so good for students to digest it. So there was a struggle to get accompanied with the platform as well. So I guess that's the reason why they are now fully migrating their entire thing with the MCQs. Okay, but yes, these are the missing links. Hopefully, if SEBI releases any information on these 4 points, it will make your life easier. Otherwise, if no information is given, it is going to be a hell of a ride. Trust me on that. Now, let's decode it. Let's decode whether it is a trick or treat for aspirants. If I say it is a treat, why it might be perceived as easier? When I say easier, I mean relation with the coding paper. So let's say if there was only coding paper and now this year only MCQ questions are going to come, what is a good thing about it? The very good thing are these points. Recognition over recall. You don't need to build the things from the scratch. You don't need to think on a clean slate. You don't have to do something from the scratch. You just recall. So there will be a question, there will be answers in front of your eyes. Out of 4, you have to choose one. And if you are sharp enough with problem solving, you will be very quick to get the correct answer rather than writing that answer from the very scratch. So recognition over recall is being given, and that is something which is very good. So you don't have to recall everything. If you recognize the correct answer or the correct concept hits your mind that moment of time, then you are the winner there. Guessing factor. We all know that with the MCQs there will be probability for each question to have a correct answer or to have an incorrect answer. So guessing factor also works. Suppose out of 4 questions you are sure that 2 are incorrect and 2 are still correct. So you have a window to sort out and to guess out of these 2 which will be correct. And if you are right, you gain the full marks, right? There is a con for that as well, but still the guessing factors work here. That doesn't work with the coding paper. In the coding paper, you don't have anything for the guessing, right? Less production effort. You don't waste effort in writing something, checking something, compiling something, then checking against the test cases, thinking about the corner use cases where your program covers all the sort of scenarios. No. So less production effort is there when it comes to the multiple choice questions. Broad coverage. Why it is taken as a good point? Because, for example, there were only 9 questions. Out of that, you have to attend 6 questions. Only 3 questions were given as like a freedom of choice. Right now you might have a broad coverage. If even you don't do well, let's say for the OOPS concept, you still have the other things where you can perform very well. So coverage will increase the probability of questions, the spectrum of the question. That will also decrease focus of one type of question or one area of the syllabus. Right? For example, if you had 3 questions from string manipulation and your string manipulation is weak, in that paper earlier in the coding, you might be not in a very good shape to clarify those questions and to just pass the exam. But now with this broad coverage, you have an option to lose some of the questions and to do well for the other questions where you feel strong. It's like same thing as phase 1 also. And also they have given you now the sectional cutoff and then overall cutoff, but yes, there is a merit always. So that has also increased the chances for the competition. I will say that is not going to manipulate anything, because the vacancies every year are very handful and people are very large in number who apply and get selected for phase 2 also. Now, why it can be a trick? Why it might be perceived as harder than what we have in coding? I believe this year it is going to be a roller coaster ride. Why? Because this is the very first year. Next year it won't be like that, because we have a reference line. Now we are completely lost of any reference. We don't have any reference, and that's why it make it very tricky. You have a tricky distractors with the MCQs. If let's say it gives you an advantage to guess the answer, it also just trick you by giving you distracting options. So sometimes if you don't have distraction, your brain works properly in one direction and you get the answer correct. But many a times when given with a lot of answers, with a lot of questions and answers, your brain is distracted and you might take something which is incorrect, even if you know that is you know the concept, but still you might do it wrong. This has happened to a lot of students and each one of you. You know the correct answer, but you mark the wrong answer. So tricky distractors are always there. Why? Because there is a sense of am I right, am I not right? So a confusion is also there. Lack of partial credit. As you knew that for the coding paper, even if you pass half of the test cases, you will get some partial marking. So you will get partial credit. But now if the question is correct, you get full marks. If the question is incorrect, you get a minus marks. But in coding, at least you are not getting minus marks. You are only getting positive. That comes with a barrier that you have to do at least 50% correct, right? But still there was a partial credit given to you. Here, no partial credits. Surface level knowledge. So here you have to require surface level knowledge for each and everything when it comes to the language. So if they don't say which language they are going to ask in phase 2, you have to get surface level knowledge for each and every exam language. That is C++, Python, everything, Java. No clear paper pattern, we discussed it. First time experiment. It can be a very tricky thing to do when it comes to the very first time, because they are also doing it for the first time. You are also attempting it for the first time, so no baseline. So yeah, it is going to be tricky. Ambiguity in the exam. Still a lot of ambiguities are there, a lot of questions are there in student minds, and that all raises the confusion in the exam, which again gives a very good way to trick students in the actual exam, because they don't say anything. Now, they haven't mentioned what type of questions they are asking. They have mentioned etc. What the type of questions, debugging, control flow, dry running of the output, so and so, then etc. And when you put etc. in something, you have the liability to do any sort of experiment. So yeah, that comes with a lot of ambiguity, a lot of confusion, and that might cost some of you. Now you guys decide whether it is a trick or treat. As per my knowledge and understanding and experience, it is going to be tricky this year. So that was me for the analysis, because many of you are asking the same question again and again and had a lot of YouTube comments and different sort of answers, and a lot of confusion was out there in the market. So that's why I made this video. I hope you got a clear idea and you only decide whether it happened for your good or not and how you're going to tackle this. Now, if you still have any question, you can mention that in the comment section. If you like this video, do hit the like button. And remember, we are actually running a series where we are trying to guess out what type of questions they will be asking. If it will be easy, it will be difficult, or what type. So we are making all sort of different types of varieties of questions, different varieties of question with level of difficulties. So you go and watch that series. Till now, there has been 4 videos, and we will be bringing videos every week. And there you will have some sort of guidance and baseline. For the time I bring the next video, keep practicing and stay updated.